Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's Saturday, December 7th, 2013, and I've got a pretty big DVD VHS update here for you. I know I haven't been doing a lot of stuff lately in general for the past year. School, just keeping me busy, school, other stuff. And yeah, I've just had like plays and mock trials. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I had a spare weekend, so I'll just do this DVD VHS update right now. Um, it's been stuff I've been getting since the beginning of October. So this is a pretty big one, so I'll get right into it. Starting off, I have two VHS tapes, 25 cents each, so 50 cents total. Not bad at all. One of these I actually had already, but oh well. 50 cents, why not get a spare copy of this plus another one on VHS. And the one I already had was Quiet Cool. It's an action movie from 1986 starring James Remar. It's an okay movie. I mean, it's nothing that special about it, but for what it was, I liked it. And I love the end credit song, Quiet Cool by Joe Lamont, so I guess that's a good reason to pick this up. So yeah, New Line Cinema VHS, this is one of the only ones I see, it opens from the side, not the top or bottom, so I don't know when I'm there, but if you like 80s action movies, you give this one a try. I'm sure you will probably like it. I mean, I like it, it's just, doesn't really have anything too special about it. It all takes place in the woods, so you get a lot of like Rambo-ish type things with bows and arrows. It's a good, it's short, 80 minutes, so it's straight to the point. It doesn't really waste its time with anything. So yeah, pick up Quiet Cool if you like 80s action movies. And the other VHS tape, in case you haven't noticed by my DVD updates by now, I love any cheesy 80s movie. No matter what it is, I just love cheesy 80s movies. And I saw this one, I just had to pick this up. I mean, maybe I'll get this on DVD at some point. I don't really know, but this one is called Teenage Dreams with a very young Keanu Reeves and Olivia Dabo. It's like a dance gymnastics competition movie, so you get a lot of really cheesy 80s pop music in this, which is really funny. Directed by Paul Lynch. This movie has like a million different titles too. I noticed the one I have here, the box says Teenage Dream. In the movie, it says Believe to Dream, and then some other titles are Flying and Dream to Believe. So they get 4 titles for this for some reason. And yeah, it's really low budget, real cheesy. It's Front Row Entertainment. Never even heard of that studio before. But if you enjoy, this is only for like die-hard fans of really cheesy 80s movies. If you like those kind of movies, you'll probably like this, because this is a really low-budget gymnastics movie, and it's got like 50 million cheesy pop songs in it. I guarantee you've probably never heard before. So it's a cheesy 80s fun time. I'll just word it like that. And if you're a huge fan of Keanu Reeves and you haven't seen it yet, maybe give it a go. This came out in 1986, so this had to be one of his first. I know he did Youngblood the same year, so this and Youngblood were some of his early stuff. I don't know what was his first. Alright, now we have a Blu-ray DVD combo. I was actually very excited to get this one. I have the old MGM DVD over there. I got that a long time ago. I got that one like 6 years ago. And now since this one has features and stuff, I finally decided to, well, not finally, but I decided to pick it up, the Night of the Comet Blu-ray DVD combo. I only have a DVD player in my room. I mean, there's a Blu-ray out in the living room. But anyways, Night of the Comet's a fun 80s movie. Good soundtrack, good everything. Here's the original, what the original poster looks like. I actually reunited Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney. I'll tell that story another day. But at the Flashback Weekend Convention 2011, I emailed both of them saying, hey, you should come to this convention. And they both ended up coming, and then they both said, hey, this is our first ever convention together, and it's all because of you, Ken. I felt so special. I reunited these two. And they actually talk about that convention. They don't talk about me, sadly, but they talk about that convention. It's a fun 80s movie. comedy, action, and horror all in the same movie. And some of the cinematography in this thing is awesome. Like they kind of show it on the cover with the red skies and stuff. So I got the poster hanging up there. It's right next to the prison poster. Yeah, it's a fun. If you love '80s movies, action, comedy, horror, whatever, pick this up. It's a very fun '80s movie, Night of the Comet. I know it's a pretty common one, so I won't spend that much time on it. But yeah, it's a good one. These Shout Factory DVDs are amazing. They do a great job with that stuff. Now this one was a biker action movie that I have never heard of before. Probably a reason for that. Called Running Cool. It's okay. I mean, there's nothing that special about it. It's mainly, like, if you like biker movies, you'll probably like it, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing with this movie, it was made and produced by real bikers, so I don't know, like, how that interferes with anything, but it was just okay. I mean, there's really nothing special to it at all. Like, there's no action that makes you say, oh my god. It's really not that special of a movie. So, I don't know. If you're an action movie fan, you're probably not going to like it, because there's really not, it's kind of slow paced and it's really low budget. It's from 1993 by Panama Films. So, Fred and Beverly Sebastian, apparently they're real bikers and they made this movie, so I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not really a fan of biker movies. I like Wild Hogs, but that's the difference. Now we have a double feature of On the Border and the Peacekeeper. One of these I hated and one of these I loved. Now, getting into it, On the Border sucks. On the Border is incredibly boring. It makes no sense. It's so low budget. It's just, yeah, pass On the Border. Ignore On the Border. That one's not good. However, the second one on here, The Peacekeeper, starring Dolph Lundgren, Montel Williams, and Roy Scheider, and Michael Sarrazin. This movie was awesome. Now, getting into it, it is a low-budget movie, but Dolph Lundgren, Montel Williams, Michael Sarrazin, and Roy Scheider all do good. It has the best car chase I have ever seen in a movie. I'm going to tell you that right now. This movie has the coolest car chase I have ever seen. I won't spoil how, but another thing I like, it's funny. It's genuinely funny. It's got a lot of moments of comedy, and it's real good. I liked it. The ending is kind of, yes, it's low budget, so you might not take it seriously, but the ending is really suspenseful for me, because it's like, yeah, I won't spoil anything, but The Peacekeeper with Dolph Lundgren, now, I don't know why people don't talk about this one more. I really loved it. That car chase towards the beginning of the movie, stand by my statement, it's one of the coolest car chases you will ever see in a movie. But ignore On the Border. I mean, if you could find The Peacekeeper on DVD alone, just buy that, and like, so you don't have to worry about this crap right here. So yeah, The Peacekeeper's recommended. On the Border's not, but The Peacekeeper's a very fun movie. Same with this one. This was another very fun movie. Now the next couple are bootlegs, so these movies never got on DVD as far as I know. So the first one is Out of Bounds, starring Anthony Michael Hall and Jeff Kober. This was a fun movie, right? It's basically like it's kind of like take Judgment Night and mix it with a couple things, because Anthony Michael Hall comes to California and he takes like the wrong suitcase and all the thugs are after him. It's kind of like a cat and mouse movie. This one was fantastic. 1986. It's another who made it? I don't know if this was New Line Cinema or not, because it's got the same release as Quiet Cool had, but this was fun soundtrack, fun cat. This was just a fun movie altogether. If you like 80s movies or 80s action, like suspense, cat and mouse thriller movies, this movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And the bad guy, Jeff Kober, he looks just like a chubby Gary Busey with black hair, so that made it even funnier. So yeah, Out of Bounds, check this one out. This was a really... Meatloaf's actually in this movie too as a little role. I forgot about that. Directed by Richard Tuggle, no clue who he is, but Out of Bounds is a very fun movie. Definitely check that out. This was a good horror movie too. I like the stars of this movie, but I never saw it. James Spader and Cynthia Gibb in Jack's Back. It's a three. I wouldn't really consider this horror because there's a lot of talking, but I would consider this more of like a thriller. James Spader. My favorite James Spader movie is probably Tough Turf, which that was a fun one. I have that in an 8-pack. And Cynthia Gibbs, she was in Youngblood with Rob Lowe, and that movie's okay. But Jack's Back, I like this one. It's real suspenseful. It's a thriller. James Spader does really good. Nice twist at the ending, which I obviously won't say, but Jack's is released by Paramount, or at least this DVD I have is like off of a Paramount tape. So yeah, check out Jack's Back if you like horror movies and stuff. Jack's Back is good. It starts out kind of slow, but it gets more interesting as it goes. So yeah, Jack's Back's a good one. Has a good theme song too, called wasn't Red Dawn. I think it's called Red Harvest. Is the name of the theme song. It's a good movie. Same with this one. Cheesy 80s movies like this all the way. Never heard of this one. Starring Jill Schoelen, who I really like Jill Schoelen as an actress. It's called Thunder Alley. That new movie, Rock of Ages, came out in 2012, I think, which I will say right now, I hated that movie. Rock of Ages, the musical, sucked. I hated that movie. I'll tell you that right now. You'll never see that one in a DVD update. If you do, something's wrong. So, but this one is kind of like the 80s version of that movie, even though that movie takes place in the 80s. This is like that movie made in the 80s. It's called Thunder Alley. This was a good one. I like this. A lot of good music, like slower like music. It's kind of like a drama, but at the same time. But it's a good one. I liked it. The Thunder Alley with Jill Schoelen. I really like Jill Schoelen. Roger Wilson. Leif Garrett is in this movie, so that's funny. Even looking at this poster, you know it's a good cheesy 80s movie. So I mean, yeah, if you like 80s rock and roll or just 80s music movies, definitely check out Thunder Alley. This is a good one. This one I just got because of the poster on the cover. It looked really cool, and this movie was really, really lame and boring. So just keep that in mind. But the movie is Nightfall. See, now when I looked at this, the poster looked cool. I thought like all the planets were falling out of the sky, so I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. And it's a really boring movie. It's PG-13 rated, so not much happens. It's really a slow-paced movie. Nightfall, just pass on this one. You most likely won't like it. So yeah, this poster looked cool. I'm like, ooh, what is Nightfall? Is the sky like falling? Are all the planets falling? But that's really not the case. I don't judge a book by the cover, I guess. This one doesn't even have any actors you've heard of, I guarantee it. Like, I don't know any of the people in this movie. The director, Paul Meyersburg, no clue who that is either. This is a good one, a very early Jean-Claude Van Damme movie from 1986. He's not in it, he's barely in it, but it's a good movie, though. No Retreat, No Surrender. That's a good martial art. It's very similar to The Karate Kid, but it's got a good soundtrack, motivational, 80s, typical. Stand on your own. Good song. And there was a song on the soundtrack that I bought off iTunes that's not in this movie, called Hold On to the Vision by Kevin Chalfant. Why was that song not in this movie? That song was awesome. But this is a good one. It's directed by Corey Yuen. Of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the Russian, very along the lines of Rocky IV. Stars Kurt McKinney and J.W. Fales. Nice last name, Fales. This is a good one, though. If you like 80s action or martial arts movies, this one's for you. This is a good one. I'm saying the same thing. This is a good one about all of them, but hey, what else can I say? It's a good martial arts fighting movie. USA versus USSR. What else is different? Every time. Now this one, I'm going to say this right now. I loved this movie. Hang on a second. Every time I do these DVD updates, it seems my cat always sets out to ruin it. Don't you notice that if you've been watching my DVD updates? Doesn't my cat always trying to ruin everything? So ignore whatever meowing and scratching you hear in the background, and we have Highway to Hell. I'm just gonna say right now, I loved this. I love stupid movies like this. I just love stupid movies like this. Hang on a second. I am so sorry about that, but I can't talk over that. Now we have Highway to Hell. Amazing. Well, no, it's not amazing, but I loved it because I love stupid movies. Rotor, R-O-T-O-R, that is one of my favorites just because of how unintentionally hilarious it is. Highway to Hell, for what it was, I loved it. It's very creative. It's funny. Well, to me. It kept me interested. It's got a good, it's just my kind of movie. This is exactly my kind of movie. The plot is alone my kind of movie. Gilbert Gottfried plays Hitler. Don't even get me started about that. And, yeah, I mean, it's just a fun. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I don't know. This should be on DVD, if you ask me, because I thought this was incredibly fun. It's just the plot is so off the wall. Some of it's creative too. That's what I love about this movie. This movie has the best handcuffs I have ever seen in a movie. I never thought I'd be praising a movie because of some handcuffs that are featured in it. If you love silly movies that are not meant to be taken seriously, take seriousness with a grain of salt, you will like this movie. It's Highway to Hell. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It stars Rob Lowe's brother Chad. His acting's a little but it's just so dumb and fun. I just had a blast watching this movie. I had a blast with it. Not everybody probably will, but I had a blast with this. So if a guy's girlfriend gets kidnapped, taken to hell, he goes to hell to save her. You know that's a ridiculous plot. So if you like just ridiculous, dumb movies, this one though, I will give it credit. Some of the cinematography and sets for this movie are amazing. Most of the movie takes place in the desert, but when you get like an abstract set for this movie, it's really good. And some of the special effects, some are bad, but some are actually really good. Definitely, if you like movies that are silly, look at that cover. You know it's silly. So check out how the AC/DC song is not in it though, which is kind of sad. But I'll tell you that right now. Getting towards the end, then we have Radioactive Dreams, which was a very silly, weird comedy, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Starring John Stockwell and Michael Dudikoff. Isn't Michael Dudikoff like in all those martial art movies or whatever? But John Stockwell, Michael Dudikoff. I know John Stockwell was in Christine. Very silly movie, but once again, it's very silly. It's not very serious at all, but I had fun with it. One thing that I loved was the fact that the paper boy from Better Off Dead, I Want My $2, he's in this movie as kind of like a kid mafia boss who just goes around swearing the entire time. Once again, it's silly. Don't take this movie seriously. Michael Dudikoff is very strange in it, but it's fun. The plot is fun. They're in the nuclear cell or nuclear shelter from a nuclear war. They do nothing but read film noir novels or whatever. So when they come up, they act like Humphrey Bogart in this nuclear, wasteland. It's fun. Don't take it serious, and it's fun. Radioactive Dreams from 1985. Definitely give that one a watch. Very fun. Biohazard, The Alien Force. This is real DVD. See, now this movie was low. This movie was crap. There's some good gore. I'll say it right now. This movie had some good gore, but other than that, nothing special about it. But this gets a real DVD release by Lionsgate. This comes out on real DVD by Lionsgate, and almost all those movies I just talked about that are bootlegs never did. Yeah, this movie was just cheap, it was boring, good gore, but other than that, really nothing about it. Biohazard, it's actually a sequel to a movie called Biohazard, directed by Shuttle and Ray, which I dread to think what that one's like compared to this. But we have The First Power with Lou Diamond Phillips and once again Jeff Kober from Out of Bounds. This one was okay. I mean, it's got the exact same plot you've seen before in movies like The Horror Show and Shocker and like 5 bajillion other movies from the 80s. I like this one okay. I don't like it as much as Shocker. I don't like it as much as The Horror Show. I don't like it as much as Prison. Is it bad? No. I mean, it's a good movie, but the big thing, it's... Well, music by Stuart Copeland. He also did the music for Out of Bounds, so this movie has a lot of tie-ins to Out of Bounds. Jeff Kober, Stuart Copeland. But the movie, it's a lot of talk. When there's action, it's good. But a lot of the time, when it's not action, it's just talk, and there's a lot of talk in this movie. It's not bad, but there's a little... And one thing I hate, dreams in movies. This movie is basically built on, like, dreams and visions, which I didn't care for. The ending sucks. I'm telling you right now, the ending sucks. I mean, when there's action, it's good. The storyline is good. You get some good scenes. The finale of the movie, well, the pre-ending scene is awesome. But after that, they ruin it with the end, like how they officially end it, and it's like this should have been done a little bit differently. I mean, it's not bad, but it had, to me, a lot of faults, as I just kind of said. So I mean, whenever I want to watch a movie like this, I'll just stick with like Shocker and The Horror Show, even Destroyer with Lyle Alzado, but. It's a good movie. It's not bad. I don't want to make it sound like it's bad. It's just, it had a lot of problems, and it was a little too slow for my taste, at least. But it's not bad. Lou Diamond Phillips does good, but the ending sucks. Now, this one I actually got for free from my woodshop teacher, Mr. G. I was after school one time helping him organize and organize the wood shop. And this was just sitting there on the shelf. He goes, "Hey, I don't know what this is. You want it?" And I said, "Sure." So he gave me this. It's Aerospace Technology, the Space Shuttle. I haven't watched this yet. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this is like how they do like the CAD stuff, making the rockets, because like that's one thing I'm good at school. I'm like wood shop, CAD designing, like the industrial tech stuff. That's what I'm really good at. And this is a long. I haven't gotten to watch it yet. Although I did look this up online. They want $80 for this online for some reason. I don't know what. I don't know if this teaches you how like the blueprinting of the space shuttle was made. I don't know. I still need to watch this, but thank you, Mr. G. Last one I got, had to get this. Saturday Morning Cartoons, 1980s. Got this for Mr. T. So now I officially own an episode of the Mr. T cartoon on DVD, which that is amazing in itself. There's a lot on here though. 2 discs. Got $5, real cheap. All of these are really cheap. I did not pay that much for any of these. But it's Saturday Morning Cartoons, 1980s. How can you hate it? Mr. T and Chuck Norris were probably my favorites on here. So Mr. T, if you love 80s nostalgia, if you're a very nostalgic person, definitely pick up Saturday Morning Cartoons, 1980s. So yeah, that's a DVD update for December 7th. We've got 80s cartoons, Aerospace Technology, the Space Shuttle. Thank you, Mr. G. First Power, Biohazard, the Alien Force, Radioactive Dreams, Highway to Hell. I loved it. You probably won't, but I loved it. No Retreat, No Surrender. That movie had a couple sequels, but I can't find those anywhere. Nightfall, Thunder Alley.